Hello, this is the TradeSight Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 8th of June, ending Friday, the 13th. Hope you're having a good month so far. A little bit better week. We saw some improved ranges, and if that'll hold up, I'm optimistic. Unfortunately, as we usual, we'll start out looking at the US dollar index, and we are still dead in the middle of this horrible 2-point range on the dollar index that's been going on now since middle of September last year. We are exactly where we were, in fact, the middle of September last year. So that is not a positive, but the ranges did expand the last 2 days and actually had a reasonably large winner, and that's positive. So hopefully that can continue for us. So in the meantime, let's look at some of the pairs, and then we will look at the intra-week action, and then we'll look at the news coming out this week, see what we need to be aware of. So here's the euro dollar. Looks pretty flat still, doesn't it? There was a big tail down on the news on Thursday and back up. Here's a look at the pound. And you can see the pound in general fairly flat. Still looks flat, but we did hit 120 pips of range on those pairs one day this week. And here's a look at the Aussie dollar, kind of a cup within a cup forming, or a low handle on a cup. Very bullish, but look how specifically it's trapped between the two the static trend lines. The green and the red line can't violate either one either way. Here's a look at New Zealand dollar, got that secret 13 sell signal at the high, and the pound. Look at the pound yen. Look how flat this has been since December. Eek. 2 13 sell signals, one at the high back in December, and then another one recently that's we've drifted lower. So that's not very exciting. All right, let's take a look at the intra-week action. These are 30-minute bars on the pairs. Again, you can see the bigger movement on the euro finally. Of course, if you take out that dip down and back, you really did only have about an 80 pip range for the entire week, 90 pips. But with that, it's a little bit bigger. It's about 180, and we saw 160 of that in a day. Remember, 130 used to be normal, average daily range, so seeing that is an improvement. Net for the week, though, we only closed up about 10-15 pips on the euro dollar. Let's take a look at the pound and see what we got here. All right, you can see that. Another range for the week is about 150 pips. And it did close a little bit better for the week than the euro did, gaining maybe 40 pips. So that's all very good and exciting, but until we actually see these ranges last more than 2 days, it doesn't have me convinced. All right, let's take a look at what we've got in the week ahead. We've got trade balance out of China Sunday, bank holiday for Australia to start the week. Japan unleashes with the current account, final GDP, bank lending, consumer confidence, and then we've got a bank holiday out of all of Europe, it looks like Monday, so that's going to slow things down for the first day of the week. Economy watchers sentiment. Centex investor confidence, housing starts out of Canada. We've got RBA governors from Australia speaking, Stephen speaking. We've got manufacturing sales out of New Zealand, BRC retail sales out of the UK, Japan tertiary industry activity and M2 money stock, Australia's business confidence and home loans, CPI and PPI out of China. Going into Tuesday, unemployment rate out of Switzerland, preliminary machine tool orders out of Japan, French industrial production, retail sales out of Switzerland, new loans and M2 money supply out of China. Europe has Italian industrial production, manufacturing production out of the UK, and industrial production as well. 10-year bond auction. We've got the GDP estimate out of the UK, JOLTS job openings and wholesale inventories out of the US, BSI manufacturing index and the CGPI out of Japan, Westpac consumer sentiment out of Australia. New Zealand's got their Rhines HPI data. Then we go into Wednesday where we've got unemployment rate out of the UK, and then not much until you get into 4:30 in the morning. So a slow night overnight there. Unemployment rate out of the UK. The US has the crude oil inventories, 10-year bond auction, Fed budget balance. Then we get the rate announcement out of New Zealand Wednesday night. Thursday we've got core machinery orders going into Thursday in Japan, and then the unemployment rate out of Australia on the same time. Europe, we've got the German WPI, the French CPI, ECB monthly bulletin, and the industrial production data all Thursday in the morning. Then Canada's got capacity utilization rate, and U.S. has got retail sales, our weekly unemployment claims data, and import prices, plus business inventories out of the U.S. Thursday morning, followed by natty gas, and then the 30-year bond auction. After that, we've got going into Friday, New Zealand has their FPI, their business New Zealand manufacturing index, monetary policy statement out of Japan, revised industrial production out of Japan, China's industrial production, retail sales, fixed asset investment out of China. And Europe has their French final non-farm payroll data, German final CPI, and the Bank of Japan press conference all on Friday. Europe has their unemployment change, trade balance. Those are some big numbers. And then the U.S. ends the week with the PPI data and the University of Michigan sentiment numbers. So we have none of the big three here in the U.S. We still don't have a Fed rate announcement looming, and we have no quarterly GDP number. So it's a straightforward week. We'll see what it leads to. As usual, we'll be calling it in the lab from here at TradeSight and hope to make you some money. We hope to see you there. Have a good weekend.